my life, I've never seen such a valuable sword.
You're right, those 6 gems on the sword are valuable. If I was to die from a blow from such a sword, I wouldn't be sorry.
Welcome everybody. We're going to go through the rules of the run to make it very clear what the hell I'm doing. So, main rule, no magic, set, unique items or charms. Anything with blue text is strictly forbidden. How I'm going to do damage? Gems, of course. So using gems in socketed items. More sockets the better. We're using no skills that use mana at all. And for the assassin, that is a challenge. And then lastly, let's just enjoy. Sit back, relax, enjoy the season, and let's get into it. So we're starting with the ass in, I think it's called. Santa Claus, love it. Straight into players 8, just for the extra experience. So gems only, what are gems? I've never picked a gem up before. So gems come in various shapes and sizes of increasing potency. Amethysts, for instance, depending on where they're socketed, will either increase attack rating, strength, or defense. There's a number of different ones we'll go through now. Amethysts we've been through. Emeralds are poison, so either poison damage or poison resist. Rubies are extra good, fire damage, but then also hit points within armor and helms. Sapphires are dirty mana, but then also cold. Topaz, lightning. And then lastly you've got diamonds, which are resistal or improved attack rating. We also have skulls, but to be honest, nobody uses skulls. They were good in the original, but since Lord of the Destruction have kind of been replaced. So before we get into the action, what are we looking for? Socketed items. So normal items with sockets, and that allows us to put gems in. And then we'll be using the Heraldric Cube, it's going to be quite vital. Using this we can cube up, as it's known, 3 gems of a lower quality to a higher one. So zippity zoo through the den of evil. I'm slightly losing my voice, like anyone cares, but just in case I sound pathetic. Emotional maybe. It is the season. So I found some socketed. At this level it's such poor defense, I probably won't put anything in it. And players 8, the zombies are tough. Okay, so this is looking harder than it should be. But you can see, just have a look at the experience I get. Each one of these guys goes down. So, I mean, look at that, it's like 20% of a level, so well worth doing the Den of Evil, even with crap weapons, crap armor and everything, because you can get through it, but the experience is huge. You just cut out a lot of that, early grind. Oh, here come the boys in red. Oh, look at that textbook. And then poor old corpse fire. So we're using these, starting equipment here, the buckler and the guitar. But that's a katar, not a guitar, by the way. And we are going to be switching to 2 quite soon. The 2 skills we're going to be using throughout the entire run. One of them requires having 2. And there it is, a dirty contraband item. We won't be touching anything. And in fact, I've picked up a few contraband items by mistake here. So, staffs, yep, warmth, that's disgusting magic. Scroll identities, should be alright. To be honest, in the future I'd even get rid of the mana potions. And look, we rescue this bat and find he's able to use this enormous home for his hobbies and interests. And our first gem, again in the Blood Moor, which is quite good. So there's Chip Sapphire. So back to town for some rewards. Akara we suspect of being a magic user, but we'll be using her until the Inquisition comes. Just switching out the base shield for a slightly better one. Selling all of this stuff that we're not going to need. So gold is going to be a challenge, I'll be honest, this run. Those magic properties are very valuable, and not having those on anything other than armour. And here I'm debating the use of a town portals, but I just believe the run would be almost impossible without being able to use it. Especially like bosses coming up will be very, very important to be able to teleport back. Otherwise it's just a lot of running for masochistic viewers. The only town person I've found so far is Daisy. She's the only one that seems to be unwilling to use magic, and also willing to inform on the others. So we can't use anything for martial arts. I'm going to hit through here and looking at anything that's got a mana cost. So unfortunately all of these like mana cost even 1, 2. These are all mana skills, and these are filthy things that nobody should be using if they've got any self-respect. Traps, again, mana. Yeah, mana, Blade Fury, it's a shame. And then here we go, Claw Mastery. A passive. Improves your ability with Claw class weapons, so we'll be using that. Annoyingly, even things like Cloak of Shadows, Mind Blast, all have a mana cost. And then really bad, like Burst of Speed of Fade, Venom. These are great skills, but are filthy, so we will not be touching them. So Shadow Warrior we might end up having to get to, depending on how this goes. Certainly if this run goes into Nightmare, but at the moment we'll be focusing on the first 2 there. So Claw, Mastery, and Weapon Block, but that will come later. So Pump Claw Mastery. We can see we get some critical strike, which is basically a double damage, and we get attack rating improvement. Bit of dexterity, bit of strength. Strength always good to get to 30 quite quickly, just to use a lot of the early equipment. Annoyingly, a lot of the claw weapons have dual like strength and dexterity requirements, so I'm going to have to invest in dexterity as well. So looking here for anything we can use, leather gloves there. Studded leather's quite good for this early part, and here's a 2-socket helm, but annoyingly I ain't got no money. So I spent all my money on a book, so I'll repair my guitar for 1, and I actually might leave the rest because I might need the money. So still on players 8 and a chipped diamond, so we're getting coffers full of precious gems which we're going to be needing. A lot of this, like a lot of each act, is going to be building up towards the boss, because that's the main challenge with this, is the limitation on the amount of damage we're going to be dealing. Picking up things like throwing knives, always quite valuable. To be honest, I'll be picking up the short sword and the dagger as well, because every penny counts. Oh, and an improved sash there. And this scepter's fine because it's got no magic quality whatsoever. And even at this point I'm thinking, yeah, should we even be profiting from the sale of mana potions? Is that the example we want to set our children this Christmas? I don't think it is. Off to Chassis again. We're going to kind of come back to her periodically. And superior ringmail, that would be really nice. We can get ringmail that's socketed. Ringmail's the best armor you can get in Act 1, so debatable, of course, it does slow you down, but the best defense certainly. I'm looking here for, oh, here we go, wrist blade. So 33, 33. And we'll get rid of that shield straight away. And this is the build we'll be using. So claw in either hand, gems in the inventory. Let's go adventure. Just clearing out these 2 dudes at the top. I think they're probably undead. They might just be old. And we find a gem shrine. Now these are going to be absolutely vital. Shame in a way that we found this one so early. Maybe I should probably save it until we find a flawed, because the gem shrine will upgrade any gem in your inventory up. And I can see there, I didn't even realise I had the skull. So I wanted the diamond, and unfortunately I didn't realise I had the skull there. So it's random. This kind of quality you'll see throughout this, and I'm sure I won't ever do that again. Underground passage, always a pleasure. And you start seeing now, look, players 8. Now these guys got shields. We're struggling slightly to do that much damage. But a lot of the reason why we're running this on quite high difficulty is every additional player level that you add to the game adds 50% more experience. So if you can come across packs like this and you can kill them, you'll be getting an additional 450% experience. So although this looks like it's a bit of a slog, I know it's going to be a real benefit, because each of these is giving 10, 12, 15% experience. Back in the shop. Chassis, what have you got for me, dude? And there it is. 3-socket ringmail. And thankfully we can actually afford it. The question is, 36 strength, do we want to get it? Of course we do. It's Christmas, man. Let's treat ourselves. Now let's have a quick look at the weapons. No, dirty magic weapon. Guitar. And a wrist blade. A 2-socket wrist blade. So dex requirement of 33. But 2-socket is going to take us to the end of this act. More in claw mastery. And let's store this stuff away until we get a level up and we can meet the requirements. So here, using some non-magic strangling gas potions that I found, just to help clear out some of these fallen, otherwise it's just a bit of a slog. Very satisfying. Probably one of the last areas you can actually use a strangling gas potion with any efficacy. Soul Eye, that's pretty cool. Soul Eye, yeah. And I've had to speed this up because it's taking a while. And this is what a lot of my inventory looks like, because we're just taking the most valuable of all the normal goods, and that's generally armors. And we can get rid of those keys as well. One of the good things about the assassin is that it can unlock chests. I think the rogue could actually in the original Diablo. Back to chassis, have a look. Ideally we want another 2-socket one if we can. That one looks quite good because it's superior. 4 to 8, 5 to 9. Yeah, I mean that one more damage is quite important. Into the not so dark wood. I've made a bit of a mess on the floor. Warreeve is not going to be pleased. You can see he wants to talk health and safety with me. So we're min-maxing here, just 36. Normally I do everything in groups of 5, but I want to make sure we're using those 4 extra points, otherwise wasted in strength, just towards vitality. I'm still concerned with Andariel at this point, and how much he's going to kick our ass. So some chain gloves, bit of an upgrade. At this point we're just trying to max armour in each slot. There'll be no rings and amulets, of course, so we're going to be missing out on resistances a lot. And here's Decakane's parlour, where he likes to take some of the rogues. Some of the young rogues. Sorry, I accidentally picked up a mana potion there, which would offend a lot of people. Just clearing up a few of these guys I can see we're in around the area where Treehead looks likely to appear. And this is Players 8 still, so I know these guys are going to hit like a truck. You can see it looks like we're doing okay. When they do hit though, it's probably 20 damage, so, and there's a big hit from Treehead himself. Yeah, being absolutely brutalised. Just having to move around. They're quite big creatures, but they do have quite a big range with their attack, so even when you kind of move away, they get quite a long glancing blow. Or attack of opportunity. Nice level up timing. Get rid of this archer that's been haranguing me. And we finally get weapon block. So immediately, now we've got 2 claw weapons, we've got some passive chance to block. It's a shame, much like the Amazon skills, there isn't an animation that plays when you block. Although it could actually make this a really bad skill, as some of the like dodge and evade skills with the Amazon can be, because you get stun locked in dodge animations. These Yeti actually opened the door for me there, which is nice, very gentlemanly. And at this point, look, I'm using the train as best I can, but it feels like Players 8 is probably going to have to be toned down slightly. This is taking a little bit too long. And the experience you can see is actually starting to wind down, so maybe 3% of a level there. 11 points in claw mastery, looking good, and that 1 point in weapon block, which I think at 26%, probably worth upping. Up to 32. It's a strange skill that you get such a high benefit so early on, and the diminishing returns are horrific, so once you get almost 5 or 6 points, it's very difficult to justify putting more in. So with that 2-socket skull cap, under normal circumstances I'd be putting that topaz in. The topaz would give me that extra magic find, but because magic is forbidden, we're going to be gemming up our wrist blade with some poison damage. And lastly here I can see there's attack rating improvement. In a helm I get some replenished mana and life, which is going to be useless at such a poor gem quality. But in a helm, 20 attack rating even with chipped diamond, which in these early stages does make a difference.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, I shouldn't try and do any voices, I'm going to lose my voice. Bank that 200. That's not a bad haul. And into the rain. Now down and around this way, I've seen some stones. And I know Rakanushi's there with the lads. Tristram was always a really good area just for experience. There's so many heroes in a very concise pack, and if you get a good map spawn with the stones near to the waypoint, it's a really good way of just farming experience and some equipment and stuff at the beginning. It's actually quite good for chip gems as well. And I'm sticking around here because I know Rakanushi's still down there. You see that little blue dude down the bottom. Looks like there's a hero character there as well, a zombie. But at this point, because I'm maybe level 13, 14, quite diminishing returns from attacking creatures in such a low level location. Did I hear someone shout then? No. And these guys are always great for experience. Champion Knight Clan. So even at the level I'm at, probably 12, 13, then yeah, these guys are going to get me the level up that I need. Or not. But I know poor old Griswold should be knocking around somewhere. And there's some great theory as to why Griswold is alive. I know someone commented in the previous videos some of the maybe fan fiction theories as to why Griswold is a zombie and everyone else has been killed. One theory is that he rejected Andariel's calls, and to punish him he turned him into a zombie. And I'm maybe sure that I read in a book once, like one of those D2 novels, that he was a paladin and that he killed everybody in Tristram, and it was kind of his punishment. Like the worst thing a paladin can do is kill all the innocent. I might be making that up though. It's a long time ago since I read that book. Some bony boys. And this early barracks area is all about just managing the creatures here, so you know there are shaman in here. They're really important to take out. With the terrain and the barrels and stuff like that, you can often find yourself kind of trapped and confused while you're getting these bloody shaman reviving everyone. And that's always an unpleasant sound to hear on this kind of a run. Definitely a charm drop there, so that can stay in the dirt where it belongs. Nice use of the door here. So you can see I'm actually hit the goatman behind them. There's a little bit of like range on most weapons, so when the enemies stack up and you just hold shift and click in the direction, then you can potentially hit the person behind if you don't hit the person in front. Gloom shield. Sure, they're fun at Christmas party. And some expert use of a strangling gas vial there. So speeding this up because it's actually a quite busy area for the smith. Got to try and get rid of these shaman. And then just clear up the ads, which I feel like I have done at this point. Then I suddenly hear the dreaded revive, and yeah, I've got to get this guy, which I know is going to trigger the smith as well. And I can see some archers behind him as well, so I don't really want those guys peppering me with arrows while I'm trying to manage this fight. A few more devilkin my side than I expect, and actually I'm maybe a bit too close to the door here, which means the devilkin behind the smith kind of poking their weapons through his legs and stuff. And another devilkin, yeah, not great management here, but the smith here, although he's extra strong, doesn't seem to be doing too much damage to me. Although already I can see the only real additional damage I'm doing at the moment is this poison, and it's not helping that much. I need some just pure fire or cold. So 4% better block, or I can just keep pumping the weapon, and I think go for block. I think this early levels in block are going to be really beneficial, and then we can just focus on claw mastery once we've got the first 3, 4, 5 points in that. So just upgrading a few bits of equipment here. I've got a 2-socket blade there, which I'm actually going to put in just for the future use. So cold gem goes in, and a topaz goes in. So we've got 1 to 8 damage there and 1 to 3 damage. Cold is particularly useful because you can shatter creatures and slow them down, and the lightning is quite variable in terms of how much damage it can do, between 1 to 8, but it's all good extra damage. Unfortunately, doing so many different elemental damages means that if a creature has, let's say, 20% resist all, then each of our damages is getting reduced. And look at this for a map, the dream jail map. One of you guys suggested that because some of these areas are quite big and there's so many waypoints, I think there probably were at one point in development a lot more quests here, but I can imagine a lot of those quests got pushed to later acts. One of the things I'm really gutted they didn't do in the remaster was just spend more time on Act 4. It's clearly, you know, really shortened due to like development having to rush to hit the deadline, whatever, for launch. But they really could have added in a few more quests or areas there. Yeah, and this is a pretty tough fight we're going through here. And I can tell, yeah, he was carrying some really bad contraband, so glad we removed him. The one mod I really wish someone would make is that you could play as a character, or even play as a hero. So you could be like a skeleton hero or whatever, and then you could have your skeleton minions, but then you yourself would unlock like lightning enchanted or whatever, and then you could go through the campaign with your like minions. The obvious one would be maybe like a cow. That would be like the really cool one, but he's skeleton, and I'm just thinking like Flamespike the crawler there was such a cool dude. Very slow run through, but you could easily take out Diablo. And Bonash here, man, so many mods on that guy. And into the Catacombs. Actually making pretty decent progress, so we should be hitting Andariel pretty soon. Berserker there gets shredded, absolutely shredded. I think Berserkers have got maybe half health, but do double damage. And Arreats have always got the strangest AI, so they hang back a lot, but then suddenly when they attack, yeah, it's really very deadly. And here it is, one of the worst bits of contraband I've seen so far. A green cap. I mean, I'll pick it up just for posterity. I just like the artwork for this one. I mean, I hate the artwork. It's a disgusting magic item, and I would hate to have plus 10 to all resist at this point. So let's chuck that on the ground and hope it gets long forgotten. And actually I'm so disgusted by myself. I throw these mana potions on the ground because I shouldn't be benefiting from even the sell value. I'm not going to be dealing in stuff like that. We're going to be pure. So I've got some points to spend here. 10 stat points and 1 skill point. Got 3 in block there and 13 in claw mastery. The only thing we're really gaining, I'm getting 5% more damage each time, but also that attack rating is very good. Putting some more points into dexterity, really just to unlock the weapons. A few more points in vitality as well. Especially at this point, I know Andariel's going to do some damage. I've been playing on players 3. You can see how they've been scaling it down as it's got harder. But for some brave reason, even though I will not benefit from the magic find whatsoever. But yeah, I'm going to tackle Andariel, because I'm quite a high level at this point. So classic speed through the Catacombs, hitting all the mages as fast as we can, all the shaman, and then you can just start clearing these guys up. I'm actually a very decent level. You can easily get here by mistake if you rush through too much at maybe level 12, and then Andariel will be a very tough fight, and these rooms can be quite difficult to clear. But at this point I'm like 15, 16, 17 or something like that. We get our belt, Superior. Filling up the belt. Got some antidote potions there too. I think we're ready. Now we're hoping the room here is very, very empty. That's the dream. So we gently knock knock. Let's see if my mother-in-law is there. Hello. Oh, she's got some friends. Nice. The shatter's always cool. Great shatter. These guys shattering is really, really important. Because you don't want, when you activate the other shaman that's slightly further up, you don't want them to be resurrecting the creatures you've just killed. And there we go. Activated. Now even though it's just these dark ones there, the shaman is active. And they'll start resurrecting them straight away. So killing these guys really slightly redundant because you know they're going to get resurrected very quickly. Like aggressive resurrection from the dark shaman. And there she is. She's had her hair done again. Okay, got a few those dark ones. Can bash one. Get the other one to run away for a bit. Damage is looking pretty good actually. I think we're quite comfortable at this point. Just switch that dark one because you don't want that guy doing it. One of the challenges I found with the run was not having faster hit recovery. It's one of those things you just do. Like Dark Souls is a good example where you have adaptability in Dark Souls 2. Without it, you really, really notice it. Yeah, very comfortable damage here. Just keep popping those potions where possible. I'm not really going to use these antidote potions much into Act 2, so we can use this every time we get poisoned. Fortunately, every time I was getting poisoned, I was getting one. I was getting poisoned immediately afterwards. Then again, yeah, poisoned again. I just thought, let's just get it done. Now, Andariel's always got quite a good quest reward, magic items aside, which I'm sure will be terrible. But she always drops a mid-range gem, and the ruby there is really good. So rubies are really beneficial for adding to armor or helms to give us more health. And we're going to need him. So Act 2, fantastic to see Fara and start to unlock some much better equipment. So 2-socket full helm straight off the bat, that's fantastic. And a 2-socket splint mail. I think splint mail might be the best armor you can actually get in this act. In terms of defense, that is.
I don't know why you people keep pestering me.
And the horror that is the sewers. One of the biggest sewers, given the size of the town, other than maybe Kurast, but at least that's kind of 3 map sizes. I just think they've got the most advanced sewer system in the whole of Sanctuary, and this is one of the problems you get, full of skellies. So the only thing you can really do with Radament here is pull these guys away. So the horrors are generally quite fast, so they're normally the first to follow you. Mages are slightly less reluctant because when they get to a certain range they'll just chuck spells instead. And here we go, we're in range. So I start bashing him thinking this is going to be a tough fight. I'm taking some damage, and actually there's a lot more skelly boys here than I realised, so it makes sense at this point maybe to retreat before we get surrounded. So speedy retreat. See how much damage that poison was doing actually. It does tick over time. So a few more dead. Now there's only 3 or 4. We should be okay. Yeah, taking some pretty decent damage here. Quite poison resistant, the kind of unraveler type. But even on normal, none of the resistances are that high. I'll actually kill that skeleton below me, assuming he's going to resurrect it. And like not attack me for a bit, but doesn't bother. And a non-magic book of skill, fantastic. Makes me feel I should try a holy bolt build, or was it Fist of the Heavens? Back to town, and here's what we're looking for. Upgraded versions of the kind of Act 1 weapons here, hatchet hands. Can ignore that magic one. Breastplate's always good. 3-socket breastplate would be nice because it doesn't slow you down. And a 3-socket kite shield. Now whether I'll stick with claws or not, maybe resistances will become such an issue once we get to like Infernos on the Venom Lords in Hell. But it's a constant like weighing up of whether I should be using the quite trash gems I've got, or should I be holding on to them. At this point we're so close to getting the Heradric Cube. Let's hold off, get the Heradric Cube, and then we can start making some of those smaller ones better quality. And I've turned the difficulty now down to players 1 I think, or 2. Oh, here we go, we'll see. Players 2. I think maybe I was so confident with how well I cleared those guys that players 2 seemed like a good idea. That's another balancing act you have to do throughout the whole thing. You want to be maximising your kind of kill speed, but also your experience at the same time, but you don't want to be doing that and jeopardising your health or having to go back to town and get potions so often. So nice level up here. At the moment the weapon block is not giving us that much more. 39 to 42, but 3% is actually better than most of the level ups in that from now on. And 4% more damage if you do that. I think the problem is the base damage of claws is so low that a 4 or 5% damage increase is almost insignificant. So I've got the waypoint, which looks like it's in the right direction of where I need to go. And I could see I'd found the tomb earlier, so it's just a short walk down there. Here we are, bish bashing some scaly boys. And look what I found. This cat has decided not to fight. So I'm going to leave him. Merry Christmas to you. Should I say Meowy Christmas? Yeah. Hate deserved. I definitely feel like next run I'm going to have to do some kind of fun AoE. Because every single run I do seems to be single target. At least it's not Golem and I have to just watch the Golem do it. Because that was... my god. Yeah. Got through quite a few episodes. And look, again. The power of Christmas. My goodness. Another passive. I think their AI is almost stunted by when there's loads of other creatures. So there were a lot of things in that room. And because there's so much, the AI kind of bugged out. And of course, this is the kind of situation I find myself in when I'm not really concentrating. Luckily, I managed to smash through the bones and take out the hollow ones before they... yeah, there was enough there that they could have perpetually been raising, but normal, luckily, is so easy. And I've never died in normal. You know, if you've watched any of my videos, never died, so... So we've got the chest, we just got to hope it's empty. Hello? Okay, pretty empty. And actually the damage you're doing against his huntresses is very, very good. Very competitive at this point, so players too. The curse doesn't help because Blood Witch is extra strong. So curse is double damage, extra strong is almost double damage as well. So that's 4 times more damage on a hero. It's very dangerous. What are you doing? Nice, and it's nice when you get a little bit of a gem reward as well. And actually that chipped with the 3 that I've got in will show what the Heroic Cube can do. So 3 of a lower quality, 1 of the slightly higher quality. And back to the waypoint. We know this is the way. This is the way. Into the fire oasis. And look at this legend. So I love the little waddle that the zombies do, especially when they're quite fast. Normally when they go quite slowly it looks quite good. So it looks realistic to a zombie. But for some reason with the Dark Elder they gave this extra like blue robe. Just such a nice extra detail. I'm not sure why they did that, or, you know. Great to have a unique character model. Just knocking around. And yeah, he was carrying a lot of contraband, so that was definitely worth doing. Oh, shame there's no fire trap. And let's see what snakes are going to do. Snakes are super intimidating. They've got that awful like bash knockback attack, which is also quite loud. So it's super intimidating. These skelly boys are just getting down in one hit, which is nice. And luckily the snakes aren't super aggressive. If you run away they can get quite aggressive. But if you stand your ground, normally they will actually try and fight you. And it's that when you run away, that just above melee distance level. And look at that. I can see where I need to go. Now I'm certain from one of my other playthroughs it was just an arc around, so I'm hoping I can just do a very quick jaunt up and around here. And yeah, they are hitting, but thankfully not too hard. Again, this is only players 2, so we're coasting at this point. And let's take these guys out because we want to have a safety portal up here we can come back through if something goes wrong in the next area. Now the difficulty of the next area is really where Fangskin is, but we'll see. So let's do a bit of safety first. Let's get in there. I don't know why I'm drinking those, just for posterity. Bit of eggnog. Okay, I can hear a lot of snakes. I'm not seeing them yet. So I'm keeping those guys at the bottom alive, just as kind of like preventing the snakes from immediately getting to me. Limited tactics you're going to get from me. Can we get in? Oh no, damn. And actually we can take these guys out, but they are very aggressive, these guys, when they're in hero format, these minions. I think there's some normal ones mixed in with the minions there. So I think we're getting hit by 3 at the same time. And Fangskin is a challenge because he's lightning enchanted. So the speed of the pack is always an issue. It can be extra strong as well, of course. But the issue is when you do engage him, you're going to get hugely damaged by his lightning. Oh, damn, and that is a lot of damage. Actually, you have to use a rejuvenation. Nice, and we get a level up. Accidentally pick up some disgusting blue potions there. So 2% more now with weapon block. Claw's giving me, well, slightly more. At least we're getting a little bit more chance to hit and stuff. And there we go. One axe kick, and the temple's destroyed. And we're definitely not going to be wearing that. And apologies, you had to see that. So, speed up. We actually know where the Maggot lair is. Now, I had some advice from someone. Maybe they just saw how many times I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? So yeah, this guy was telling me, just turn right. So that's what I'm doing, turning right. And I get to this part, I'm like, he's wrong. No, okay. But we're here, okay. Still going right, could be right, could be right to be right. It's like really weird map tile here. Unnecessarily long, it took me ages to get through this. Okay, must be here. Is it? It's not. It's bullshit. So at this point I'm willing to be like, oh, so dismissive. But actually, other than that ludicrously long tunnel I had to go through, that did seem to be better. So, thanks for the advice. And here's a weird nuance between old and new. So you can see in the old graphics, you can see an urn. At least you can feel an urn in the distance, sense the urn. But in the new version, I can see he's there. Because of the lighting. So I'm not sure if that's a bug or a feature. Or both. So I'll speed this up slightly. Level 3 is normally pretty pedestrian. It's never going to be as good as that. Walked through and there was literally nothing between the entrance and the chest, which was phenomenal. I think that was on my previous run. But this has been pretty good. And when it's that good, it's worth just kicking that guy. Yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. Ah, shame, because some of these suffixes and prefixes don't sound very magical. Sturdy. I did find at one point like mechanics, and I thought, oh, might be a magic mechanic. That's the problem. And it's blue text, so not interested. Superior kite shield, and it's 3-socketed. At this point, I think let's hold off. I've got a 3-socket one anyway. But yeah, ideally we want 3 sockets. I'm just not sure if you can get it in Act 2. I know you can get it in later difficulties. Anyway, I go to the local library. Not a lot in the lower floor in terms of furniture. A lot of it's dedicated to the downstairs area. And I really like these doodads, because it really looks like someone's just made a shit house in Minecraft and just put everything on the wall. Harem. Now once again, I'll show you how to do this professionally, and nothing will go wrong. Immediately walk into a wall. Probably worth fighting the blunderbore who's in the way. Actually getting pelted with spells. Yeah, really slowed down by the cold. Cannot be frozen is such a useful mod. And these skellies are in the way. Thankfully, we've got a very good chance to hit them, and they go down in 2 or 3 hits. I think when I'm hitting 2 hits instead of 3, is when I'm hitting that crit, and that crit chance is on the primary skill that we're pumping, Claw Mastery. This is uncharacteristically busy here. Maybe I shouldn't be spending any time, and yeah, I can see I'm basically up against a wall here. I'm trying to hide. No, we've got to retreat. I actually think, this is going to be a pain. Again, I've got no resistances, so even these fire mages are doing some decent damage. And the archers don't do a lot, but there's just so many, man. I'm getting peppered. So I decided to go around, which I've literally never done before. So this is new. This is a completely new environment to me. I can't believe it. Found the waypoint. And look, there's even a unique design. Look at that. That's so cool. What a waste. Should have put that somewhere else. The waypoint, and literally nobody gets. But yeah, cool feature. There you go. So we've managed to circumvent a lot of that danger zone now. And then I realised, man, we're only on level 2. So this is how to do it. This is how you normally do it. And for some reason I'm deciding to fight. I probably should just be running, but... Actually, I can hear the block hitting then sometimes, so we are blocking some of these. And then level 3. So we know at this point, similar direction, but then as soon as you can cut left here, you do it. And we know from previous experience how much damage the lightning mages seem to do compared to the others. I think it's because they've got like a 1-2, let's say 80 damage, so most of the time it's pretty pedestrian, but sometimes when you get hit by a few 80s in a row, you're in real trouble. So we don't want Fire Eye to be in there, we want him to be, well, maybe not there. And we know he can get through this door from previous experience, so we can hold them at the door here at the right kind of distance. We don't want to get too close, because we'll be able to be hit by more than one. And there's Fire Eye. Fire Enchanted. So when Fire Enchanted die, they do explode, but I think when they've got quite a big character model, then normally you aren't exactly close to them, so the fire doesn't seem to do anything. Back to the Stony Field. And the reason why I'm showing you this, normally the Cold Field has got more shrines, but those two are right by the waypoint, so we'll be using that to just go back and forth every now and then to try and find the elusive gem shrine. So cutting through some mad lads. And then we get to, actually, pretty quickly, we get to, I think this is the second route. We find it. Now we know he's up there. Quick duck, oh look at that. The old duck and weave. You faint. Very, very easy. At this point you might be wondering why I'm even bothering, and I should at least pull back. Ghosts do actually have a very high chance of... They've got a strange loot table. So they have a very high chance of dropping gems and runes compared to other creatures. Oh, there you go. Proof. That wasn't scripted. It's always a night. I swear this is just in the new version, but you can't see the symbol straight away. And proof that I know the game so well, I think the triangle's to the right. And ignore the fact that I might have tried the tomb slightly above, but... Yeah, I know the star's straight ahead and the triangle's to the side here. And I think, oh, I'll fight a few of these, it seems to be going quite well, and then get surrounded. And now feel like, because I've got to level up, I need to have an epic fight to have really earned it. That's it, and some Michael Bay camera work at the end. So before we go in, we should really be looking at re-equipping potions. Nice to find a 2-socket there. Breastplate I'm circling there because it'd be nice to get a 3-socket version of that. So Claw Mastery up to 15. We've almost maxed it. I don't know what we're going to do when we do. And 2% better block chance. I mean, for a level up, 2% better block isn't too bad. It is pretty bad if you've got any other skill to put it in, of course, because damage would be better, but 2%'s not nothing. And we've got some Ghost Boys. So, Mixed Blessing. Problem with Ghosts is they can stack, so you can get hit by a lot at the same time, and it's very difficult to separate that stack once they're together. And here's where I realised my mouse stopped working, which is really boring. So I'm desperately trying to click it, it's not working. So I had to go back, to go and find a different mouse. So I found a rune. I think I'll hold on to it. So maybe look, tell me in the comments if you think I should, if I do this in Nightmare, if I should use runes or not. Maybe let's avoid rune words, but use runes. It's a shame in a way I have to go through this in normal because the amount of sockets I get on a lot of this equipment is limited. It'd be great if I could get, 6-socket armour and stuff. I think, actually, it might just be 4. I think 4 is the most you can get an armour. But like a 6-socket weapon would be really cool. Or at least 2 3-socket claws and then a 3-socket helm. So we're jamming our staff hard into Juriel's orifice. which as we know then drops him from the ceiling. It really pisses him off. Drink some thawing potions. Again, no resistances. Thawing potion gives you 50% frost resistance, and he does have this holy freeze aura. Nothing you can do about getting frozen, but you can prevent some of the damage at least of the ticks. And he is hitting like, well, like he's really pissed. So this is looking really, really bad. I'm trying to fight him, but I'm getting hit probably every third attack I'm getting hit. And if I get a few of them in a row, like then, yeah. So I think I might be on players 2, which is a real mistake. Now I'm like, oh, this is going to be really painful. I didn't expect this to be quite so difficult. But being slowed is a real, like that is one of the major drawbacks of this. So I'm probably half speed now, which is hard enough. With the damage I'm actually outputting, which is pretty low. So I just have to endure. Luckily this seems to be okay, but it's very difficult to get back up to around 200 health, so I'm always stuck around that kind of 100 to 150 mark. And again, it's just a few unlucky hits in a row. I've got to retreat. Can't say I enjoyed this. At least I knew that after the fight he wouldn't drop anything, because he never does. I think I mentioned in a previous video how I did see a forum post to how there is a bug and it's very easy for them to work through. I think the guy's even written the bug fix for them, but yeah, Blizzard are not interested in making games or improving them anymore. Oh, this is bad. Yeah. Oh, damn. And actually I went down to 1 health then, and I think it was the tick from his holy freeze that took me over the edge. And that's the first time I've ever died in normal as well. So let's drink the thawing potions. I think each one is 30 seconds. Portal, straight back into it. First few hits there were unfrozen, and the rest of this, unfortunately. It's a shame because I actually got him very close to death. Slowly but surely. This isn't great because I haven't got a huge amount of potions in my belt there, you can see. But yeah, that's the kind of drops you're thankful you don't have to sift through to see if there's anything of any value. So I'm looking here and I'm thinking, okay, hatchet hands, yeah. Oh, there's some claws there I can see. So the claws will be good. But then I'm looking and thinking, everything is magic. Yep. So it's only up to Act 2. I've read some forum posts that say they found things. So here's me looking really emotional. And this guy's in my emotional spot. So can you go? Yep. No, just leave. Yep. No, you can leave. No, you can leave. Well, I'm just going to... Okay, I'll be here. Does he want to go? No, I didn't think so. You go. Come on, have it, mate. Yeah, you. I'm walking up to alcohol. Can't remember why I walked up. I think it's to get some stamina potions or something. But yeah, I noticed this temple. It's not like I haven't noticed it before. But I saw a post recently about, was it Chichen Itza? And how they uncovered it. I'll put the picture up in here. But it was almost completely covered with foliage. And now, of course, you can walk around and appreciate the acoustics and stuff. But when they discovered it, yeah, it was completely covered in foliage. Other than that little top bit where they've got the incense burning in this game. So at this point, maybe I've had enough. Let's use some of the stamina potions I've got from Alcor, that ledge, and let's just run. Let's just run through this. The damage I'm doing is so poor. I want to get to someone like Lower Kurast and just hit some weapon racks. See if we can get some claws, some 3-socket. I don't know if you can get 3-socket, but maybe 2-socket claws. And I thought, we can maybe duck in there and see if they're... Nah, let's just run. So this is the sight. This kind of pain train getting stabbed in the back. Unfortunately, these guys were able to actually do quite a significant amount of damage to me if they ganked me, so we run as fast as we can. And you know what? It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. I always go the wrong way here because I know there's no bridge there. But But yeah, when you start seeing that gold, man, it feels good. And an actual stone bridge. So safety portal, because we know we've got those thorned hulks here. Actually, I think there's quite a good bit of terrain here we can use. That's it, and hopefully, yep, they'll get stuck and they won't come round. What's interesting here is that this guy can actually hit over the wall. You can see that little stun above my head as well. That's, you know, if I was benefiting from faster hit recovery, then that wouldn't be so much of an issue, but it's interrupting my attacks a lot, like resetting my attacks. And I think, okay, screw you guys. Nice little hero isolated. Kind of looking for weapon racks as well. Picking off groups where I can, but really I'm just looking for the waypoint. And yes, we got it. So now we've got a foothold in Kurast. So clearly we're going to need some better gems at this point. We have one goodish gem, the flawless one, but we need shrines. We need gem shrines to upgrade them. So that's what I did. I ran the stony field, which has those two shrines near each other, many times. There were a lot of refilling, stamina, mana recharge, skill, experience, and a lot of the others were very, very rare. So it took me 138 shrines to find enough to upgrade it. I was very excited when I did. And in Kurast as well, when I went back there, we found the jade figurine, which was really nice.
Good day.
Ah.
What can I do for you?
I do love alcohol. There's a lot of backstory I've given the guy. A lot of rude fan fiction that makes him such a legend. One campfire, and it's really far away from the waypoint, unfortunately. So Lower Kurast would be amazing to get these chests. They do drop a lot of magic items. Actually, they drop a lot of gems as well. But with this so far away, it's going to be difficult to farm this in any kind of consistency. And we're quite close to a level up now, so it's worth just slicing up the wildlife. And a weapon rack as well. So weapon rack, you probably need to hit it at least 10 times before you can see all of like the loot table. It'll be a consistent loot table, but I've done it before, like even ones that drop claws and get nothing but like bardiches and stuff like that. So it's a very inconsistent way. And actually, this is phenomenal. All that running in the stony field, I just run across this madness. So there we go, gem shrine. And annoyingly, going back to the inventory, I don't really have anything to upgrade. So I'm thinking, oh, probably going to have to... But then I realised, actually, we can do this. 3 chipped sapphires. So I should have kept that one in there. Gives us a normal sapphire once we cube enough. And that actually seems like a pretty good use of a gem shrine. So back in, gem shrine, and super satisfying. Hope there's not a skull. I even check. Is there a skull in my inventory? No, we're okay. So probably worth holding off there, waiting till that one can be turned into a perfect. So we'll need one more gem shrine really. And in the spider cavern, full of bugs. Creepy crawlies. A mixed blessing having these kind of giant lamprey young. They can get in the way of the spiders, and being overwhelmed with spiders is the biggest danger here. Being overwhelmed by those kind of larvae is not. I'll speed this up now. And I know where I need to go. We need to go down here and then just round. Small pack of spiders here. Actually, the poison ones never seem to be too dangerous. But a bit further on, yeah, we get the flame spiders, and these guys are aggressive. And I get surrounded. Probably a bit too aggressive myself there. I've got to be really careful here, getting attacked by 4 at the same time. Very close to death. And what can you do? I've got to save an exit there. Save myself the embarrassment. Annoyingly, I then have to make my way back. And it's like the perfect combo. Thorned hulks and fetishes. You've got the big guys, which you just have to get out the way, and of course at the same time you're fighting them. And interestingly, drop some claws, so good they're on the loot table. Back to the spider cavern, where we wanted to be. And we know the route now. We've just got to go around that bend here. And a nice flawed emerald as a reward. These flame spiders are very docile. So as long as you clear them out quite quickly. See, the other one there isn't even really interested in fighting. I don't know what it is that triggers their aggression. Normally if you fight them they'll attack back. Not all the time. But here I'm a bit more cautious. Previous one we had poison spinners. But these flame ones can be more dangerous. And actually the flame attack, we've got no flame resistance whatsoever, fire resistance. So we have to be careful because we take all that extra damage on top. And it's always a shame when you see like staffs and stuff, because that could easily be like 10 grand. But alas, 'tis but a stick to me. So poison spinners, we're luring a lot of these out. Like 3 at the same time is okay. We're getting a lot of those flame ones coming along, and it's Sazark as well. So luckily we've got a bit of space to run back here, so I think let's just run back to the entrance. Try and lose some around the corner. I'm thinking I should have run probably a bit further there. So it looks like we've got him and one other. That's manageable. He's hitting hard and we're cursed. Extra strong and cursed is just not a great combination. But again, we should be able to do this. The only problem is he is hitting for maybe 150. So when I'm at 109, it's very, very dangerous. And they're like 76 health. Easily could have one-shot me, so instantly cursed again. And yeah, man, look at the damage there. 3 hits. We must have done 300 damage in 3 hits back to back. Luckily, we've got him by the entrance, so we've got a good escape. And there again, like over 100 damage there in 1 hit, and that's before we were cursed. Very, very close to death here, so hopefully we can last. Yeah, we got him. Drop that dirty potion on the ground. Let's start doing some clearing up. So, I mean, playing hardcore, walking around with a curse, not a good idea. And here I'm hiding, like Gollum, just running in. I just don't know who else is there, so I think let's just run. It's always a shame to see a grand charm, but you know it's going to be +1 to strength or some trash. So here we are, killing the pets of Kurast. And I've looked around here. The reason why I'm heading in this direction is because annoyingly I need to go back to the Flayer jungle. So let's have a look at the map. This is where I sprinted before. There's an entrance there, an entrance there. That's quite far away. We're really hoping it's not that far down. It could be. But we're going to have to make our way downtown. Let's heal up. I think, oh, I could fight. No, this is going to be long. And it's at this point, you think, why didn't I just get a stamina potion? The last thing I want to do is run out of stamina. Thankfully this area is quite clear to begin with. But I'm having to check the other side, just in case there's an entrance here with a dungeon, because I'd be gutted if it was here. And yeah, look at the damage of these packs. It's bad. This is 1 pack of soul killers in the Flayer jungle. And there are maybe, I'm guessing maybe 20 at least we're going to have to go through, including Shaman. I think I even go to players here and be like, let's just double check this is on players 1, because this is going to be a slog. The good thing is we get more experience as we work through. That's just that bend there. It's a huge amount of experience. We've got some points to spend, which is the fun part of the game. So strength, I know I'm going to need strength maybe about 60, just to get some decent armour on by the end. Like Act 5. And then split some points between block and damage. So a familiar village here. We made him. Now there is the Gidmid down there. Not interested. Nice little chipped emerald on the way. I'm not showing you every gem pickup here because it'd be so much footage. Always terrifying going through these corridors. You never know what hero is going to loom, and you've got these undead sticking in dolls. So just be very cautious. And there's actually a decent combat shrine there, which makes clearing this area through quite easy. Just making some bank with the armour. Actually, gold has been pretty good, mainly because I haven't had to buy anything, right? Very, very cautious. There's not a huge amount of room to kite back here, so I know I would get overwhelmed early with like a might hero, undead Stygian doll, then could be in pretty big trouble. And these corridors are actually quite wide, so wherever I stand, they could easily surround me. And yeah, it's busy. This is a slightly more ideal fighting environment. Compelling viewing, I'm sure, for you at home. But when I'm only getting hit by one, maybe two, this is ideal, and we can easily, like, you can see how cautiously I creep there towards level 3. Very sparsely populated level 3. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. Maybe had like bosses in each corner that you have to work your way through. And a waypoint would have been nice, but... But we know in the very final corner is Ndugu and his posse. And a nice little chipped diamond there. Shame we're still getting chipped, because you should really be able to get up to floored at this point. I'm really thankful that the AI isn't like as aggressive as the shaman at raising. Because sometimes when I see that they have the ability to raise, I'm like, do they? Because you very rarely see it. Nice, and then we're here. Now what I should do is run to the chest. That's it. What a lad. And annoyingly, Ndugu seems to go through the exit with me, but I'm able to separate a lot of these guys. And then Ndugu. And actually, I think bosses maybe, I don't know, maybe because they live so much longer, he did have a propensity to raise the dead. Yeah, we got him. We got him. And part of the problem with even bother fighting, you know, bosses, even super uniques like Ndugu, is the only benefit normally is they're going to drop something like a magic item, and that ain't no good to me. So finally moving into the middle of Kurast, and these champions are just a pain. Their AI is extremely aggressive until they take a certain amount of damage, then they run away. And I do want to kill these guys, just because it looks like a kind of cool encounter as we make our way through the city. But yeah, they do hit hard. It's such a shame I don't have more skills to be able to use at this point. Even something like Blade Shield, I understand it has to have a mana cost, but maybe if we're moving to Nightmare we can have a discussion about what I can use and what not. I quite like the idea of just doing a shadow only, because it'd be interesting to see what skills the shadow uses if I don't have any skills. And the good thing is we'll always find one of the two temples here will be the ruined temple, and we'll find Alcor's sketchbook where he likes to paint his French girls. Nice, we got Serene here. Classic environmental use here once again. Just holding them by the door as best as possible. And when there's only 2 or 3 able to fight, then yeah, we can tank that. Still pretty tough though. We just don't have the damage output. I always check the chance to hit there just because I'm so frustrated with their blocking. And there he is. Alcor will be pleased. Actually, Sua's phenomenal map here. Look, you can see where I've come through. Now, normally I'd be like, well, we can fight these guys, but they're all awake. Getting overwhelmed by that many gloom bats. They do a huge amount of damage in a short space of time. I forget there's a lag on getting that door. Yeah, we're through. And some zombie boys. We're just going to ignore those. It's always nice running through here as the assassin because you know you can open everything. There's often a few locked boxes here. And a decent chunk of gold. That one actually looks like it's got a Pretty decent drop rate, that chest. Might check that one again. So a few gems here. There's me doing my best to create Kaleem. I'm not a surgeon. I don't know why they're asking me to do it. Let's try and rebuild him. Yeah, that's his nose. And he's got his other eye there. Yeah, perfect. He'll be back soon. Very busy bridge. Yeah, this is insane. Quite cool when it's this packed full of creatures. Sometimes you can just like run through the whole thing. Sometimes it's nice. And again, I like to play this game at a pace, as you can tell. I don't mind. I like playing the game, right? I'm not trying to min-max or get to a certain point. Got to enjoy the journey. When you get like a bridge just packed full of creatures, that's quite cool. One of the runs I'd like to do to treat myself is like a up enemy count, up magic find. And maybe do it as a mage or something fun, something with AoE. And just enjoy myself for once. But yeah, dangerous conviction aura there, especially you got some of those lightning chuckers. And we're into Trav. Which again, the path is busy. But we can whittle these guys down, so that's what we're doing. And I think at that point, let's just, as a safety precaution, just grab the waypoint. So, quest updated there. Trav's nearby. But there's some busyness nearby, so we have to clear a lot of that out first. And luckily old Torque, feeling brave. And I really don't want it to run back. Now, fire resist, yeah, it's 0. These Hydras don't do a huge amount of damage. But when there's 6 of them, I mean, he's not really hitting me that much there, so that they're just ticking down. It's like a very slow-acting poison. Yeah, actually, one of the more dangerous parts there is that Frost Nova that shoots out, because again, 0 cold resist. Kaleem's Will. So again, just attach a penis to the bottom of that face, and you've got Kaleem's Will. I think it should be Kaleem's Will E. Such an infant. So annoyingly, we've got a few ads here at the side. It's annoying when they tuck round, because I don't really want to get the council coming out while I'm clearing this guy's out. But I'm speeding this up. You can see, like, pretty easy tactic here. Kite them out. It's tough. I mean, they are very tough. I'm taking some damage, but actually not super aggressive. Or maybe just not very good at hitting, right? They spend a lot of time, like, casting spells and trying to heal themselves, so... There's quite a pile there. You think by the time one of them would walk up to 5 other bodies in the same location, they'd be suspicious of the trap. And I've got the quest update there, so I know I've killed all the bosses. So let's get his willy out and smash his orb. Nice. And this actually looks, yeah, pretty good map here. But down to level 2 quite quickly. And here, Ghostly, Undead, Stygian, Doll. And the slow on those guys is insane. So I was fighting that guy for about a minute, and I thought, this is just a mad. And there we go, look at that. Gem Shrine. Brilliant stuff. So I think it's maybe the 4th Gem Shrine I've found in this run so far. So maybe disproportionately good luck. Although I did check 132 times in the Stony Field. And a perfect Sapphire. That's going to be perfect for a weapon. Once we get there into a decent claw, maybe, I think that will carry us to the end of normal. So slowly creeping our way around. And yeah, that's what we don't want. We don't want to get that pack. I think we're much better off avoiding here. We want this area to be quite quiet. And it's really busy. So I've got to run. Ah, damn. That's Matha, is it? So not only we've got Matha, oh, we've got bloody Brem Sparkfist the other side as well. So let's just move slightly further away. We've got that Bloodlord to the south as well we've got to avoid. We're so lucky. I can see Mephisto's aura in the top left there. And I think if we move up maybe a space or 2, he's going to turn up. So we want Matha to stay exactly where he is. He is extra strong, so we've got to be a bit cautious. And I think let's just get back into town, kind of reset a lot of the aggro. Let's put that gem back where it's safe. And let's stock up. Now look, resists are so vital for this. So vital. And I'm getting... but I don't need those antidotes, I'm sure, but... I'm popping anything to make me feel like I'm a strong boy. Okay, so once you get into melee, he has a... Oh man, he's hitting hard. He doesn't use his spells quite so often when you get into melee because he wants to use his melee attack. But his attack does hurt a lot. The most dangerous one, as we've seen in previous runs, is that charge bolt one though, because if all of those hit at the same time, then yeah, he can one-shot you on normal. But actually, once you look at it, and you see he is taking damage, so it is going to be possible. It just might be a slog. Wow, what a hit that was. Very lucky to survive. And again, down to 21. Dodge that. Up to about 80, down to 3 hit points. And that Bloodlord, so frustrating having that, because there's no way I'm going to be able to get around to him without aggroing more. Let's see, just run up a little bit. The other danger in this area is there are probably Bloodlords above me as well. So I don't want to aggro them, although it just make this fight unbearable. No, what can you do? I did try and get away, but as soon as you start running, they're going to hit you. And you're down to like 50, 60 health. You're in trouble. That's interesting because I've never died on normal. Oh, again, massive hit. Yeah, so some of these, like, especially when you first go through the portal, it can be really, really tough. Because he immediately wants to hit you with a spell that can take you down 200 health. You get into melee range, he can hit you once, you know, that could be over. But we get him a good cycle now. I think we've probably got him. Oh, down to 2. Oh, yeah. I said the better I think about this. And again, almost kills me there. Yeah, and actually those antidote potions are required. And a ruby. Yeah, nice for him to actually drop something we can use, so that's pretty good. I'm just going to go up here. Yeah, so you can see there are more Bloodlords here. Normally a locked chest there as well. That's like a super chest. There's always a chest in this little cove here. And then you've got one of the 2 racks. So the armor rack here. And that Avenger Guard has got no magic, so we can go and sell that. And on the other side there's a weapon rack. And I'm hoping if this drops a claw, well, it does not. So it's busy here. Let's just get out of here. The bridge isn't even there. Come on. Yeah, thank God. So I've gone back to Jurassic Park. The reason why I'm back is I need some claws. Now I had a look online, there's some great calculators and stuff, and I found that the best drop chance of blade talons is actually in a lot of the temples. So try and find one near a waypoint. This is pretty much one of the best ones. There's a shrine there. Again, you know, there's a chance at least it might be a gem shrine. I did in a few runs go up into this little area here because it had a armor stand and a chest, and the chest sometimes dropped gems. But mainly it's for this bit here, so you can see the temples there. This was actually the first run I did, which is why the map's not uncovered. It's a busy area, annoyingly. But I can zip in here. And ideally, drop chance rate wise, we want the flesh hunters, isn't it? Sounds like Alcor's autobiography, travel blog. Yeah, it's annoying with those Bloodlords. Again, no fire resistance, we've really got to avoid those meteors. Find a 3-socket shield, but what we find, blade talons. This is run 1 as well. It's ethereal. So, from how many sockets to... actually, I probably will pick it up. Ethereal might not be too bad. So, time to get comfortable in your seat, because I imagine I'm going to be at this for quite some time. And actually, this is run 2, another blade talon. And it's 2-socket. Now, I think that might be max sockets I can get at this difficulty. And I'm not going to press the fact that it looks like I've had some pretty good luck. So, let's take the luck, get back to town, see what we want to do. So a few gem rolls here, let's cube them up. See what we got. Got that amethyst. Not super useful an amethyst, I'll be honest. Most valuable online. So we've got our perfect ruby there. Ideally we're waiting for a 3-socket armour. But we definitely want cold damage in one claw. So that seems like a pretty solid investment. And I think, again, we probably want a topaz at some point. We want a perfect emerald. And that perfect ruby, I mean, there's a debate of putting it into a weapon, but the perfect thing for us would be to get 3 rubies in armour, in body armour. Few points to spend. Yeah, we're putting claw mastery now. We're not going to get much benefit. And here we are, Act 4. Now, the dream would be, yeah, we got it. Quite often, the entrance to the next area is very, very close. And I think, well, the problem with the Plains of Despair is you need to create a little bit of a safe space to get Israel to fight him. Otherwise, you're fighting him with loads of ads. That's what I'm doing here, is I'm just clearing a little area in this corner. So when I do find Israel, we can lure him back here. And actually, even that Inferno wasn't too bad. We seem to be holding our own. Now, I had to go all around this area, around the edge of the map. So I'm all the way around to the top there. About 15 minutes later, finally we're going against him. So he does a lot of cold damage. He does a kind of Frost Nova attack. I think he might have a spectral hit as well. So he does that cold damage hit. And man, he is tough. I think this is maybe 8 times, maybe 10 times speed. Yeah, he took a long time. He was a tanky boy. But the reward is well worth it. I say that. But yeah, for anyone else, it's a great reward. For me, I think the next run I'm just thinking of now would be a no skill point run. And yeah, it's so good when they drop a gem as well. So we're getting 1% more from the block chance now, so I mean it's almost redundant. I think let's just put Claw Mastery to its max, and then any points we get once that's maxed out we can just put into block and get that 1 or 2%. So decent map here as well. Find the waypoint, always nice to get this one. Such a shame this act is so small. Although the length of time of the very end of it, especially with some of my runs, maybe it's a blessing. So running, getting the portal, getting the waypoint, and then it's straight back in. I need that Hellforge reward because of the amount of gems that drop, and that's going to be a game changer. And look at this map. First left turn from the waypoint, and we found it. Quest log is popped up, and we know Hephasto's in there somewhere. Just try not to click that monster shrine, that'd be a pain. So a few stranglers, and we got him. So let's lure as many around the corner as we can, and I think, yeah, we got him. Now again, he can hit hard. He has a spectral hit, which is annoying, so when he hits me with cold, it slows me down a lot. The aura, I think, is holy fire, so that's just a general tick. So we are taking damage from it, but it's not the worst. But actually, compared to Israel, I'm like, well, wow, that was a dream fight, and the experience was pretty good. So clear out the shrine. Fingers crossed, we don't want a perfect skull. That'd be crippling. Come on. I want as many good gems as possible and no skulls. And we get a perfect topaz. Brilliant. Flawless skull, which is a shame, so one is kind of wasted, but otherwise pretty good. So at this point, what I should have done is let's just try and get some decent weapons for the rest of normal. But I can't help myself. Let's start working through the River of Flame. And you can see here, even against the Venom Lord types, we're doing okay. Always cool to see a rare war sword. They were just so valuable once upon a time. Like pre-Lord of Destruction, war swords were just overpowered. I remember once getting duped out of a lot. I think I bought one with like 1 durability, and to repair it cost more money than I had ever seen before. Well, that's one of the old tactics of some bastards online. So straight into the Chaos Sanctuary and straight back out again. Yeah, the mages are just a pain. Cold mages especially. When they decrepify and then hit you with a cold, I think your speed goes down to about 25%. But luckily they can't retreat there with the Doom Knights pushing them from behind. And the Doom Knights, no drama at all. A few Venom Lords here. Actually, even with 0 fire resistance, we're doing okay. It's a relief when you fought with Mick Dagger on a poison dagger run. And +2 defense on my plated belt. It's a great upgrade. So what the hell am I doing here? Well, Act 2 is the only act I can get socketed items that are normal, that I can actually buy in a shop. So we're here with Flayer, who's hopefully going to save our run. So I'm just looking for anything here, like superior boots, superior helm. If we can get superior with sockets on a helm or body armor, that'd be fantastic. We do have that 2-socket splint mail, and that might be the best we're going to get. But let's see, maybe we can get 3 sockets, I'm not sure. Look, I know a lot, but I just don't know everything, and that's kind of the nice way for the game to be. Still a few mysteries. It's 2-socket here. Again, we've got 2-socket with 94 defense. I know the splint mail slows us down, but actually just stacking defense. We haven't really got anything else, so we should be trying to stack as much defense as possible. So it's night time now in Luca Lane, doing this for art, and I find that 2-socket splint mail, 94, is identical. That's the best I found as well, so maybe we should just roll with the splint mail that we've got. And in it goes, so there you go, 38 life. So decent improvement from our gemmed mail we've been using. And that's Act 1 armour with 2 crappy gems in, so pretty decent upgrade from where we were. Put some of the old claws in the weapon cabinet. I found some light gauntlets there, which is a very good find. And we've got superior full helm there, 30 defense, but unfortunately it's only got 1 socket. And I was holding onto this crown, but actually the defense is worse than the helm. But 2 sockets, I mean I do actually have 2 flawed diamonds there, which would be a pretty decent upgrade. So maybe it's worth just making the Christmas tree. We want to look as bejeweled as we can. Especially as we're now going up against the Chaos Sanctuary dudes. So this Airbnb wasn't what it was described, but you know, we'll have a walk around the local area. Hopefully it'll redeem itself. Hostile on locals. A bit like Glasgow if you've ever been. One of the things that was very difficult to come to terms with is, especially with these storm chasers, or stormcasters, sorry, is when your mana gets drained, you immediately like, oh, pop a mana pot. However, unnecessary. It's one of those like gut reactions that when that part of the screen isn't blue, you got to do something about it. There's a contraband belt on the floor up there. So look, thanks to the guy who commented on the previous video saying there is actually a pattern to the seals. So I was comfortable hitting the one on the left there, knowing it's a fork pattern. I can hit this one here. Really useful for the Venom Lord hero. I always forget if it's Ventar or the Infector. I think it's the Infector of Souls. Now, actually, I get quite a few of these guys trapped behind the furniture there. So they're hidden behind that cathedral wall. Which means we can fight just a few. And when they're at a distance it's good, because they're just doing that kind of like mana drain attack. But the laser attack is one you're worried about here. So a few of them making its way down, I make a real big area here and reposition. And all of them come out from the side there, so I'm attacking another 4 or 5 now. So again, only 2 doing the attack, the melee attack. And again, 2 here now doing the melee attack. Which is good. And mana, like, I'm tweaking because the mana's gone, but that's a good thing for this character. So quick reposition. May as well hit that seal. And brilliantly, they're kind of tethering to the Grand Vizier there, so we can pick this guy off. Speed this up a bit. Balls bouncing up and down, always a pleasure. Yeah, methodical. Slicing apart. A few gems found here, and actually, like with enough cubing here, this is brilliant. Like a perfect amount. to get a ruby. And let's whack that straight in and enjoy. So 340 hit points is actually pretty good for this point. We've got a perfect topaz now. And I'm thinking this is the one we got from the Hellforge. So we got really bad claws there. And we do have that ethereal one that we found. And it's max damage. Its minimum damage is as good as the max damage I was doing in terms of physical. So let's put the topaz in. Let's use the ethereal. It's not going to last a huge amount of time, but our damage has really jumped up. And immediately I can see the damage is very, very good. I'm sorry about that, picking up that blue potion there. It's not like me. And a really dangerous spawn here, like almost right on top of your head. Normally they spawn around the corner, you've got a bit of time. But I don't know how many times I've seen that, to be honest. That's a real hardcore character killer. The old classic thing was to wait for the sorceresses and stuff to be messing around and then run round with your character on Battle.net and then hit the seal. So Decease and his crew gank them. Not that I've ever done that, of course, I would never do that. And definitely not in hardcore, that's just a dick move. Yeah, and Lord Decease actually, you know, pretty good. Lord Decease is going to be the challenge in one of my future runs. I want to do a Thorns run, but not really sure how the way to beat him. I know it's probably been spoken about online, but I'd rather try and work it out myself. So we know that seal from your lad. This is the bad one. So they're definitely going to be here. Oh, okay, we'll get around the corner. Hopefully here we can maybe get one at a time. If we can just ease our way around the corner, hopefully. I don't know why I did a weapon swap. I'm clearly panicking. Press W by mistake. Okay, yeah, we got one. This will be ideal if we could just have one at a time. But unfortunately, because the infector's coming around, they're all going to start pulling around him. Yeah, so we just got to run. And actually, 340 hit points. We should be able to. I mean, one hit there was 40, but. And look at this for tactics. Now this looks like I'm running away. And I am. But I've just got to get the infector on his own. And I know the others that kind of want to get me tethered towards him, but I know that once we get him down, everyone else is going to die. So peak strategy there. Disguised as cowardice. Diablo. How bad can it be? Yeah, that bad. So that is like a combination fire, lightning attack that he does. And on normal, yeah, hits like a truck. I can't even get close to the guy. And when he does that and no fire comes out, that means he's put a bone prison around your portal. So I'm having to like avoid the fire attack. I've got thawing potions, so when he does that attack, I can hit the thawing potion. Because if I don't hit a thawing potion and he does a lightning attack, I can't run away in time. So there goes lightning. Yeah, and there's nothing you can do. Nothing I can do there. And I try and use the portal and it won't let me, so this is how I spent some of my life, is punching a bone prison. Yeah, what else? Merry Christmas. Yeah. And annoyingly, if you hang around that mid-range, then he has a tendency to do that lightning attack and then the fire attack. And to do that like 4 times in a row, yeah, it's tough. He is taking damage, but man, it's slow going. And this is with our improved weapons. Look at this dodge. Oh. Finally, and again, this took a while. I got to the point where, look, let's just tank it. If we die, we die. And he's gone. And he actually shattered. Which I always think is quite an anticlimax. Like, no death animation, just gone. Oh, I killed Diablo. Oh, where is he? Oh, he shattered and melted? Oh yeah, I bet he did. So enslaved. Always quite good experience if you can take them out, but yeah, it's actually taking quite a few hits. Like 4 or 5 hits to take this out, maybe 6, even 7. This is going to be a slog. So this first area is actually quite good fun, because you get a few of these guys like meat shields, the meat shield barbarians. So take Dak Faran out and oh my god, heavy contraband material he was carrying, so glad to deprive the world of that. And here between Schenk and the portal. Now Schenk's going to be an important one. His reward is to socket an item, so we want those sockets. I think at this point, yeah, let's get the old portal just in case. Don't have to do that run again. And even small groups, these guys are okay to manage. We've got decent hit points at this point. Kept up with the armour. And Schenk, tougher than I thought he'd be, I'll be honest. Maybe he's just got generally quite good resistance, but yeah, he's gone. And now we know that socket reward has been secured.
Schenk, your command is ended.
Not a great fan of the voice lines of the assassin, I've got to say. So Thresh socket, luckily he's always by himself, so quite a satisfying guy to take out. Then I realise, what's the point? Yeah, really isn't much point taking out heroes at all. And alas, the ethereal blade talons are 2 durability out of 35, so I have to say goodbye to them soon. Look at this absolutely crazy entrance to the crystalline passage, or to the frozen river, should I say. Now, the longer you play this game, whether you want to or not, you kind of know some of the maps. So I'm indicating there with my cursor, I think I know the way on this one. And that noise, yeah, even with one I'm doing okay, but actually because it's quite a decent one, it might be worth just using that, just one instead. But yeah, it's broken. But we do have the reward now, so I'm just going to put on some random claws at this point, because I think I need more gems before I socket something. Look at this guy, tough. I really like his teal colour. We didn't really get too much of a chance to see that, but he looked very smart. But these Moonlord minions, man, they're really tough, and I can only really fight one at a time. And onto the Yetis. Again, look, we know we don't want to get ganked by too many of these at the same time. But by pulling back, splitting them up, this guy desperately wants to go back. Not going to happen, indeed. Actually does make it back. Yeah, not before he dies. Just a handful here, which is ideal. So we can take out one of these frozen. And then actually, it's Frostenstein himself. Mana burn, perfect. And next to a well, this is actually quite good fun. Really good positioning. He is tough, and unfortunately he gets one of his other guys with him. And I'm really cautious here about that Frost Nova coming out, but we're fine. Oh, a yummy scroll of resistance, so gobble that down. And look at that, 10 resistance to all. So tearing through these areas, frozen tundra, straight to the Ancient's Way. We get a really bad roll in terms of the creatures here, so more like Moonlord, Deathlord types. I come around here in hopes I can maybe lure them around and juke them. Quite a rare poison shrine there. Unfortunately, we're going to have to take these guys out because we need this area to kind of kite creatures back to, especially because there are those Moonlords. Yep, safety portal, solid choice. Actually, I'm thinking here, let's just leg it. And the only one following me there is a Moonlord, and I think, actually, maybe we should turn around and just take these guys out. Yeah, annoying we get some of those death slashes. But safety portal in a slightly better position there. Now, you can ask yourself why I'm drinking all these thawing potions, and you're right to ask that. I think it just makes me feel better. I know I'm up against the Ancients now. Maybe part of me is worried they get a spectral hit, but I don't think they do. I think I've just got so much trauma from over the years. From their, like, Nightmare in Hell suffixes. So we are potioned up. We're not going to drop any, we're going to keep the safety portal out here so we can come back in. So we know we don't need to re-roll their stats or their suffixes. And I'm trying my best here just to run away. So we want to try and get them into the corner. Good if you get a whirlwind and a leap like that. Hopefully you can run pretty far away to the corner and see who follows. Annoyingly, they all come. And they get shouted as well, so that shout doubles their defense. Now both Korlik and Talik have very high physical defense. So high physical resist, I think they've got 70 physical resist, and they've got really high fire resist as well. It's only Madork, is it, who has no physical resist, but he has cold and lightning resist. And here we've got two, so I want to take Madork out first if I can. But every time I go for him, he decides after a short period of time to retreat, and I really don't want Talik joining in, so I'm thinking we're just going to have to do our best here. That shout really is annoying though, because I know I've probably got a minute and a half, 180 seconds or something to wait for that to wear off, which is a pain considering he's got such high physical resist anyway. But luckily Maggot decides to move next to a pillar and we absolutely brutalise him. But look, now we're up against a guy who we know has got very high resistances, so 12 damage, so we just have to slog it through. In terms of potions we've got left, now Talik, man, he hits like a train. So I'm organising my pots here kind of nervously, thinking just so I can kind of manage how many I've got left. I can see like visually, it's slightly easier to see how many I've got left. Now the real tactic here is to get him to whirlwind into a location where he then can't whirlwind you again, and that stops him from wanting to work. So there he's like strafe whirlwind. Yeah, he's going to try and just keep strafing left and right. We want him to kind of get his back. I mean, I almost die there as well. We want to get into a like nook like in here, so hopefully he'll whirlwind towards and then won't. Yeah, again it's not good because I need to get right in. So trying this a little bit here. Okay, this looks good. Okay, whirlwind to there, and he's stopped. I know there's no benefit of him whirlwinding away because he's right on top of us, so... Now starts the most awkward fights you've ever seen. And I've just got to hope the potions last. Maybe the closest you'll get to a Christmas tree, that being a large green thing with a shiny light on top and then a gem-laden creature around it. And it's a foregone conclusion now, surely. Yeah, we got him. And a level up, of course, which I actually forgot I was going to get. And we're 25th of December. Unfortunately now we have to put points into weapon block, and at this point I think probably Vitality's the one, but we'll hold off for a time, I think. And here, filling up the potion belt, you can see perfect amount to fill it up, so that's how many potions we used. Man, real drinking problem. So you might hate me here, but I'm going to use the socket reward, and I get 2 sockets. Now I know 3's the max, but I'm guessing the item level isn't high enough to get all 3. But 2's fine, like it's a decent weapon. The base stats of a lot of these items are generally quite poor, so you maybe get like another 0.5, 1 more damage per second. So it's not big. And here we are, back in the stony field. Yeah, this took a few runs, as you can imagine. So a lot of back and forth to that waypoint. Finally, a gem shrine. Now, do you want to know how many times this took? I didn't write it down. That's part of the reason why it was so much quicker than before. So let's hit it. I'm making this a bit. Come on. Do a bit of a dance. I'm pretty pleased at this point. An emerald. Interesting. Yep, that's right. That is actually my 3rd gem shrine I had to go through. So yeah, I did that probably, I don't know, I want to say 400 times. So a good 200 runs. Took about 40 minutes. And now we've got, well, it's a glorious setup. So a perfect gem of different types in every single different slot. So I think we're using the full contingent at this point, other than an amethyst. 20 claw mastery, 8 weapon block, some pretty decent stats. Health 359, pretty acceptable. I have put those 5 points into vitality, and if I get another level up, I think that's where I'll be pushing it. Damage looks okay, resistance is 10, and let's get in on the final stretch. Of course, Death Lords. We really got to hope we don't get Death Lords on the... of course, I forget, you hang around too long. Bale just dropped something from the ceiling delivery system. And you can see how much trouble. I mean, this Death Lord actually get a few hits in a row, so it looks like I have slightly easier time than I was with most of them. This is what it generally looked like, because I can't be bothered at this point to be fighting every single one of these. Luckily, when there's enough creatures around, they get kind of caught up So we're in the throne. Damn, it's Death Lords again. This is just 2 of them at the same time. See how much damage I'm taking of just having to chug those potions down. Like, lucky a few options for escape behind us, but you know, there's 1 down. So it took a while to get to this point. There weren't that many creatures, thankfully. And actually the throne was pretty empty. And we're up against Calenzo, wave 1. And it's worth just tanking him down. It's the curse that's the pain, that decrepify that Baal casts. But once he's down, the others fall like wheat to a scythe. And the Unraveller's here. So I've done the usual Skelly Boy trick. Just pulled all the frost-throwing skeletons down and got them out of resurrection range. And actually this Unraveller looks like he's in a really good spot. He's pulled himself far enough forward that I can't get cursed. Unfortunately at Akmel, I just couldn't pull the guy forward, so I'm getting cursed by Baal quite frequently. So it's a slower fight than I want, but he be dead. Unfortunately we now have to put our points in weapon block, but at least we can push vitality for the more challenging waves coming up. So before you even have a time to think, Bartok and the boys are on your doorstep. Speeding this up, you've got to just try and get a good position here. I'm trying to pull them around, but annoyingly they keep putting hydras just wherever I'm standing. Get one in a good position here, but again it's just too busy, so they keep healing him, so let's pull them right down, stretch them right out, actually get a pretty good isolated attack here, position on Bartok. Bit of repositioning just because that fire resist at 10 is not fantastic. Catch a council member here, gets healed. But then we've got Bartok in a good position. Lightning enchanted, so it is risky taking one in melee. And that's the kind of reward we want. No magic, just a few pots. Now, do I want to spend my time fighting these guys? No. So we're going to do our best to lure them. Unfortunately, we really need to lure Ventar down. And it's just the old Duke here. One here. I'm surprised at how effective I am at actually killing these. There's 2 in the throne. Before I jump into the next wave, and he does do his laugh there, so I'm a bit worried now, but I need to make sure I've at least got a U-bend here. So I can drive around here with some dinosaurs, if needs be. Yeah, I can see Ventar down there. We don't really want to have to fight him, but we've got some pretty decent space here. Here we go, and some dinosaur ranching. Around there, and at this point, yeah, we can sprint. Yeah, we got him. We got him.
Worldstone. What power.
Nice, good we can take those out. Always worth taking thawing potions. Cannot be frozen is just so useful with Baal, and of course I don't have that mod. But what I do have is a lot of gems. But yeah, man, the guy's hitting hard. I think one of the hardest things about these fights, I mean, you get hit hard. I'm not using mana skills, so that mana drain is insignificant. Getting frozen is a pain, but it's when he summons his brother. The only thing you can do when he summons the clone is just to disappear into town for a few minutes, and they all despawn. This, I was actually meant to be chatting to my friends on Discord, but I had to be like, sorry guys, I've been fighting Baal for about 30 minutes now, I just need to get this done. So skip to the future, we got him slashing his skirt off, slash his dignity away, and we got him. And he was carrying... Oh. And we'll make room for that contraband item, because that will need to be destroyed by a specialist. And look, the biggest Christmas decoration in the world. And poetic as the souls fly past. So that's normal done. Let's have a look back. I've actually still got quite a few gems. I did find a 3-socket breastplate, but the armour just isn't very high. There's the old ethereal one that broke. Some of the old classics that took us through the first few acts. And even that gem ring mail cost track 4, I think. Yeah, hatchet hands were never used. Stats. Well, Not too much to talk about, I think you know now. Claw Mastery at 20, 21% crit's good, and even 49% block chance is good. It's just a shame you can't get up to 75. Such a shame we couldn't get things like Burst or Fade, or Burst of Speed, should I say. But yeah, if I went to Nightmare, I think Shadow Warrior, Shadow Master would almost have to be the game. So I'd probably respec in a car and then just try and put as many points into those as possible. Resists 10%. Stats pretty standard for normal, to be honest. So time to sit down for a little bit of a Christmas meal. I think well earned at this point. We've purged the world of some magic. At least we haven't partook in its dirtiness. But it might be worth just going for a bit of a tour, just to say thanks to everyone who helped on the journey. Cozy fireplace here, Pandemonium Fortress. Thanks to Tyrael for those 2 skill points. I don't know who that old man is. Off to Kurast. A lot of these guys, magic using filth. But we've always got our favourite distant uncle, Alcor. Promised to paint me like one of his French girls in the new year. What a lad. Where to next? Luke Ghislaine. Now I forgive Farah for a lot of magic dealing, because she did help us out massively. Most of our equipment, so big thanks to her. And of course Lysander. There's always got to be one deaf relative at Christmas. And here we are, back home. Back by the fire pit outside with Brother Warif. And I'm sure Guide will be providing some of the drink later on. Chelsea likes a decent meal, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll ignore her. Yeah, and a car or two. Filthy mage. And Daisy. Wow. Finally I'm back home to you. The only person I can trust. And look, all the important quests are done. Nothing important there. Outstanding. Gidmin, of course, we're not going to bother with that. Please like, subscribe, all the usual. But mainly, just have a great Christmas and a great break. And enjoy time with your loved ones. Somebody help me.